guest with us today. That's exciting.
Am I
Ew.
really a guest now? I mean,
You are. You don't come on the Tuesday show that much.
I mean, but he is like the admin,
It's
so
like
I
my
mean,
third or fourth time I've been on now,
okay. Well, welcome back. My apologies.
Actually, I covered for you when you weren't on once.
Oh, that's right. When I was sick.
Right.
Yeah, at the doctor's appointment. Yeah. I was not feeling well. I made an appointment. Yeah, I remember that.
sick.
And I really was. Remember, I had the ear infection.
Sure.
Now.
Oh, is that when you like didn't want people to think you had COVID?
Yeah, I thought I did. Remember? And Jarvis like, "You don't have COVID. You don't have COVID." And then Vandy called, and I was like, "Uh-oh."
Oh my goodness.
You
I was
mean
when that
Hunt,
happened. Remember
Kara, Shirley, Angela.
Hey guys, hello.
that? Kara, you need to go back to vacation times,
Yes, Jason from Winnipeg, Miss Q. Emmy, you need to be enjoying that cruise.
Ooh.
Josh, Randy, Wendy.
I don't think we need grandma today. No breaking news today, Wendy. That I know of. Ken might have a surprise.
Grandma was
They
on
have some.
speed dial though. Grandma was on speed dial last Thursday though.
Yes. Hey, Lenny.
Edith, Lenny. Oh my gosh. Do you see what happens? We just need to add Jarvis in here more often. People get in the room quicker.
Oh, people like Jarvis way more than you or me. Way more. Way more. And
I don't know about Haley, but definitely you.
Are you saying I'm not nice? Mrs. Q thinks I'm Mrs. Q thinks I am a doll. She loves me.
Hi, Cole. Well, she doesn't know you as well as Jarvis and I do.
That's true.
She doesn't know how much we have to put up with the same two musicals over and over again.
Dear Evan Hansen, Mamma Mia.
No,
Hamilton.
Oh, Hamilton too. That doesn't annoy me as much as Dear Evan Hansen, though.
You're not on the FaceTime during the day all day though, Jarvis.
That's true.
I am not throwing away my shot.
Guys, trust me, if you only have to endure that little 3-second blip right there, you've done your penance.
So I like musicals.
Do you see Cole from the Bahamas is saying hello, Haley?
Yes, I did say
hello.
But Cole, we need to know from the Bahamas, are you Team Baha Mar or Team Atlantis?
Oh.
It might be Team Margaritaville though at this point too.
Let me tell you, that Margaritaville looked nice.
The Point Project is outstanding.
I mean, it really, and to be like that close, like the Tiki Hut, and then that restaurant we had lunch that one day where my lips were burning. I mean, that would be a cool place to like explore right there.
I mean, the mock-up for the port right there in Nassau looks beautiful. So fingers crossed it comes to fruition. It definitely needed a little something.
And remember the beach club too that they're litigating right now that they're going to build at the lighthouse.
Oh, that'd be because that's such an iconic spot.
Yeah.
So
that would be fun. What's the policy?
Carrie, you can absolutely go live. Here's the thing: go live, and of course, as long as you're not being rude, crude, outside of our normal level of rude and crude, it's totally fine. However, if anybody violates the terms of the group, which are in the group, it'll be deleted and you will not be allowed to go live. That's the gist of it.
Oh, okay. Wow. Good to know. Well, it is top of the hour. Good morning, everybody. It is 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central Time, my time. So that means it is Today in Travel. We have a special show for you today. Our returning champion is back with us again. First, I am Jason Poole with Cruise Planners. I'm a travel advisor and love cruising, love all-inclusive resorts, love European travel, just love it all. But I have two great co-hosts with me today that probably know way more about travel than I do. Ladies first, good morning, Miss Haley. How are you?
Good morning, good morning, Ken. My name is Haley. For those of you that are just joining that may not know who I am a travel blogger and I own a hotel sales support company called Hospitality with a Flair. I love to cruise. I love Disney. I love going to Europe. I just love it all. And our esteemed admin colleague, King of the Titans, I don't know, I could, first of his name.
Long may he reign.
I can always count on you, Haley, for the introductions. Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Jarvis, world traveler, business traveler, and your favorite pinnacle, also admin of Today in Travel Facebook group.
Welcome. Thank you again for joining us on this Tuesday morning. Well, guys, we have a lot planned today. Haley, kick it off.
All right. So, I was going to start with Scarlet Lady, but I think we should go through the news first and then we can just debate
I agree.
a couple topics. Sound good, guys?
Sounds great.
So because we have the 3 block today, guys, I'm going to flash what the topic is and then go back to this 3 block because I know it's very small for those of you that are on phones. So first news, which is big news, the U.S. is going to lift the travel ban for Europeans coming here.
Right. So the U.S. will lift the COVID restrictions for UK and European Union countries starting in November. They have to be vaccinated. So I know there's a lot of Europeans who are anxious to get on a cruise ship in Florida or just come visit the state. So this is great news for our friends across the pond.
Oh, absolutely. And frankly, some of these areas could use the travel money because coming into that time of the year, it's a little slower. Of course, some of your big destinations are still going to be busy. But some of those satellite destinations could really use that influx. I'll tell you here with the border, that's been a struggle where I live. And frankly, the Europeans love coming here because it's a discount. That euro to dollar conversion is definitely in their favor. Jarvis, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good that we have consistency, right? Because we were able to go there, but they were not able to come here. And it did cause a lot of issues. And look, if we're going to open up, if we're going to get the economy really going, we need everybody to be allowed to come back in with the right security protocols. So obviously, being vaccinated is a big thing. I think there's also some testing requirements.
Yes.
Embedded in that. So it's just good for everybody.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm surprised it took as long as it did, to be honest.
I was also surprised it took as long as it did because, like Ken said, we could go there for months.
All right, Jason, I'm going to skip ahead to this one so that we can merge cruises together.
Beautiful.
So as much as Disney is not a thing for Jason, they just opened their brand new space restaurant, which I think he would be a kid in a candy shop with the lines to this, because unlike some of the other sit-down resorts at Disney, they're taking walk-ins, which, I mean, Jarvis, you've been, a lot of the sit-down restaurants don't take walk-ins. You have to pre-make your reservation, which is crazy. But I could see Jason Poole being one of those people rope dropping and rushing to this.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think Disney has a great product, and I love children. So the idea of going and spending a day just with just hundreds of thousands of children I just would love that. The mock-up of the restaurant looks fantastic. If there's children everywhere, I hope they have a well-stocked bar at this restaurant.
I mean, honestly, when Disney does things, though, they don't half-ass them, to be frank.
That's true. No, Disney does everything. I mean, we talked about the new cruise show. I mean, they do everything great. They really do. And the mock-ups, no kidding aside, look fantastic. It's awesome that they're allowing walk-ins now. Things are kind of slowly getting back to normal. So this is welcome news.
Is Disney still on a lower percentage for the parks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you have to schedule it in advance, and it's very easy to do it online. And the days fill up very quickly, so you couldn't just like tomorrow decide to go. You have to plan it quite a bit ahead.
And Justin Salter's in here. Justin, if you have any tea, 'cause I believe he's in Florida right now
That's
at
right.
Disney and Universal. So you can drop that in the comments. All right, a topic I know that both of you are more excited to talk about than that is
I
Wonder of the Seas is debuting in the US. Now, if I recall, somebody in this chat called this. Somebody called this.
yeah, I mean,
2020, I posted it on Facebook that Wonder would be redeployed to the United States. Okay, it's there for everyone to see.
yes. So let's not bury the lead. The Wonder of the Seas is Royal Caribbean's fifth Oasis class ship. I would argue it's version 3 Oasis class. It's going to be bigger. It's featuring some new attractions, some new amenities, and it is now debuting in the United States out of Florida, March 2022, doing week-long Caribbean itineraries. Mr. Pinnacle, what are you most excited about on the Wonder of the Seas?
Anyone who knows me knows that I am looking forward to neighborhood number 8, and that is the Sweet Neighborhood. First of its kind on this type of royal ship.
Yep, yep.
Spectrum does have a Sweet Neighborhood, but obviously that went straight to the Far East, so we don't really care about Spectrum. But this is so exciting to see that they've realigned all of the suites. So deck 17 and 18 now are going to have the majority of the suites. You still have the Aqua Theater suites in their normal positioning in the back overlooking the Aqua Theater, but centralizing all of the suites, putting a new outdoor, moving the suite sun deck from the front of the ship into that neighborhood with what look like plunge pools. I think that's going to be outstanding when you have the Sweet Lounge, Coastal Kitchen, and all of that in one area. It
I
looks
agree.
outstanding to me.
I am obsessed with that.
I think that's really smart. I mean, because the people who book the suites on the newer ships, Oasis class, Quantum class, especially, I mean, they're spending some big bucks for a suite experience. And I think Wonder of the Seas introducing it. I hope we see this roll out to the other ships when they go through their next dry dock upgrades in the years to come. So maybe the Allure will be the next ship to get it.
Wouldn't that be nice? I hope so, because that's one thing that blows my mind is like you'll see these really cool suites on these newer royal ships. I mean, they're beautiful. But then it's like, here's a sun deck.
Right.
It's like, they've really needed to, I think, up the game as to what comes with that suite. And this just looks beautiful. And having it all in one section, I even said that with MSC in a different regard, talking about how all that kid stuff, like the slides, the water park, and everything was just in like one section. So you didn't have like a screaming water park next to the big main pool. Like having things centralized like that, I'm a big fan. Big
So Ken, I know the answer to this, but why don't you tell people what you booked, the room type, and why?
So it's interesting. So I'm an Oasis, I love the Oasis class, and I love it for the Crown Lofts because I love the duplex concept, and I love being on deck 17 because that's where the Suite Lounge is, as well as Coastal Kitchen. But if you look at the deck plans, you will see that the Crown Lofts are very narrow compared to the owner suites that are now on deck 18 also. And it looks like they have floor to ceiling windows, and I believe they're going to have the extra height of a loft without the upstairs. So I initially booked a Crown Loft, and then after looking at the deck plans, because we still don't have renderings and
right,
any of that,
I called Jason and we had a powwow.
We did.
Said, hey, look, this looks like the owner's suite, which is a little more money, and it looks almost double the size.
It does.
deal. So I'm booked in an owner's suite on the inaugural. So really, really looking forward to see that. And you know, it's interesting too. This is Royal Caribbean really meeting the market, right? NCL has done a great job with the Haven.
Yeah,
Celebrity's done an outstanding job with the Retreat. Royal had to answer because their suites, although the suites are could be argued are somewhat better, the entire suite experience was not as good now as NCL or Celebrity. So really looking forward to see
I,
this evolution of the
I
suite.
I could not agree more. Like, I think the junior suite is better than a sky suite. I think the grand suite is better than a celebrity suite. Like, I could not agree more. So I'm hoping this is the start of Royal Caribbean rebranding their suite experience. And I think it'd be great if they had a name for it. I like that Norwegian calls it the Haven, Celebrity calls it the Retreat.
Yeah,
I
it
would
needs to be branded.
I would love a name for the suite and roll it out across the fleet. Let's see it on the Grandeur. Let's see it on the Jewel.
And I think pool class
Going a
is
little farther, Jason. No, I'm just kidding.
so it won't be called pool class.
Hey, I love the Retreat. I booked the Retreat.
Oh my goodness. No, I'm so excited. I like the shift of the look. I'm glad that they're not. I like kind of how Harmony was the hiccup. Like it was the hiccup, and then it went on to Symphony, and now it's just evolving. Because I think the Symphony layout was great. You know, that addition of playmakers.
I agree.
Gosh,
I agree.
I'm so excited. I'm ready. And speaking about cruises, gentlemen, I think this is a great transition point.
Scarlet Lady. For those who don't know, I was the only person here who didn't get to go on the Scarlet Lady when it was in New York for a dinner preview show. Come on board, see the Scarlet Lady. Haley and Ken got to go on board. So instead of them just talking and making me feel completely left out, I had asked them some questions. They didn't know I was going to do this. So here's
Right.
we'll start ladies first. Haley, you walk on board. What was your first initial thought of the Scarlet Lady?
So walking on board, for me, I think it felt different than the average ship. Obviously, the design's a little different. And I think a consistent theme that carried throughout the ship is there could be places on this ship that you don't see during your sailing because there's so many kind of like nooks and crannies. Very modern, almost like that 70s mid-century modern sleek look aesthetic. Very friendly staff. It was so much to like absorb and take in. Jarvis, what were your initial?
So I think, and I see some comments that my audio's low, so I'll try to speak up a little. So
For what it's worth, I can hear you just fine.
okay, great. So the thing that I found to be somewhat lacking when I walked on, you don't enter into a promenade. You don't enter into a centrum. You don't enter into something that's immediately going to grab you that you're going to say, wow. So I thought the entrance was a little flat, and I was a little disappointed in the initial thought was, wow, I was expecting to be wowed. Like I just recently, when I go on royal ships and you walk into the promenade, you usually say, wow. I just recently went on Apex, and the first thing I said was, oh my God, this is beautiful. I didn't get that emotional response initially walking on.
Yeah.
Now, so Ken, question for you. Who is Virgin Voyages for? Because they are saying we're not a traditional cruise line. We're not grandma's cruise line. So leave her in the living room. Who should book Virgin Voyages?
So that is an outstanding question because I think their initial press releases, when they said they were not going to have kids, would have attracted an older demographic who doesn't want to be around kids. I know plenty of 60 plus people that are going to jump at this opportunity to board a ship with no kids.
Like Jason?
Exactly like Jason. But let me tell you something, guys. This ship is not for you. This ship is going to replace, my opinion, replace the 3-day party cruises that Carnival and Royal do out of Miami. You are not going to jump on that ship if you want to have a party weekend. You're going to get on the Scarlet Lady because it is a higher level of partying that you are going to do on that ship. There
So
are
instead of saying it's for young people, would you say it's for the young at heart?
definitely young at heart,
Okay.
definitely people who want to have fun, who want to dance, who want to drink at different venues.
Okay.
Mhm.
They've broken the gym into 4 or 5 different parts. So it's those people, it's the Cruise Life Rick people who are going to work out like maniacs and then party all night. It's really, the concept is just really, really an outstanding, and it's absolutely beautiful once you see the venues and once you see the outdoor spaces. It's really something special.
I was dying at all the videos you posted. Now, Haley, what did you think about your dinner? Because you guys had a chance to dine on board, correct?
Yes.
So what restaurant did you well did you pick, or did they assign it for you? And then what did you think of the food?
Well, they gave us some options, and being at dinner with this guy down here, I felt like steak was the appropriate choice.
You didn't take them to the vegan restaurant?
I mean, I told him we could do the vegetarian vegan razzle dazzle, but I just felt the wake, and plus, being a blogger looking online, not a lot of people had written as much about it. They're all talking about pink agave or gangba, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna try the steakhouse. It was really good. First off, the French fries were just a whole nother life experience.
Life changing.
Life changing. I had the bone marrow and the filet. What I will say is, I do think it's a little smaller portion size. I'm not just saying this because I'm thick here, but there's still that kind of like health carryover. The food was phenomenal though. Like, I ordered for dessert this Meyer lemon cheesecake, and it came out. It looked just like a lemon, but it was like a mousse inside. Like, phenomenal. But it is smaller portion. But what was kind of nice is you're not walking out of dinner like so full that you're like falling asleep. I thought the food was really great. Jarvis, what'd you think?
I think it was outstanding too. The cut of meat was fantastic, perfectly prepared. The service was wonderful. The specialty drinks that they have in all of the different venues was also very, very nice. So
And
look, they're really going for, food quality matters, as some of these other cruise lines continue to cut costs, and you can really see it in the food product. You're going to get a decent meal on Virgin.
yeah,
And for those who don't know, there's no dining package to purchase. There's no upcharge at the venue. All of the food venues are included in your cruise fare and are complimentary. So
and
there's
keep
not
there is a section of the menu that says treat yourself.
right,
So like if you want to upgrade to something, like if you want to see
right.
the tower at the Wave, you can get that. I mean, Jarvis was just begging for it. We're like, Jarvis, no, we need to
Those
have the traditional
scallops.
experience.
I need those scallops.
Oh, now
But each venue has that little treat yourself section, but otherwise, like everything else is included, which is nice because I've been on ships where the included food was so subpar that I had to buy specialty dining to feel like I could like eat something.
yes. Well, so never mind. So Ken, you had a chance to view a couple of the staterooms. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So, what did you see? What types of rooms, and what were your thoughts on those rooms?
So let me first say that ship has so many venues that you're really not going to spend a lot of time in the room.
Okay, okay,
100%.
I was not overwhelmed by the rooms,
yep.
especially the bigger suites. I kind of thought they were like, I called it 60s chic meets IKEA. I didn't think that they were really well apportioned or designed. the biggest suite on there. I believe it was, what is it, Michael's?
The massive suite, yeah. Which I have a tour coming out of this week on YouTube. Cough, cough.
Okay, look forward to seeing that. The outdoor space is incredible, right? But the room itself, I thought, was pretty lacking. I didn't walk in and say, wow. We saw a number of suites, and I got the sense that they were like junior suites in a hotel. But
Okay.
again, I think you
100%.
would not really be spending that much time in the room. So the room really doesn't matter as much. I didn't get the opportunity to see the Seriously Suite, which actually I have booked coming up, but I'm lowering my expectations on the room. It's not walking into an Edge Villa on Apex
No.
or a Royal Loft Suite on Royal where you'd be like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. It wasn't that type of experience, but look, it's going to get the job done, right? You're going to sleep there, you're going to take a shower there. The hammocks are interesting. I did see that massive suite did have a hot tub out there and stairs leading up the table. So check out, Haley will show you that room in detail later on, exclusively on Today in Travel. But I was a little underwhelmed by the rooms, and the hallways are all gray. So I didn't love how the hallways looked either. Not that that
Yeah, it's a
matters.
little sterile.
Yes.
Well, you know what's it's funny you say that because that's how I feel about the Edge and the Apex hallways. They're just they're just great. I mean, it's beautiful. It's what's in vogue right now. But I mean, so does it look like the Apex hallways? I mean, the Apex is great.
The gray Apex, the carpet still has some texture. So for me, I'm not
Gotcha.
overwhelmed by the gray. When I walking down the hall on Scarlet Lady, I was overwhelmed by the gray. I'm like, am I in a hospital here?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and the stairwells have that same kind of like sterilized. Like the elevators are cool though. Like it's kind of like you're in water. They're awesome. They're like digital screen lighting. It's really neat. But I would say the same. Like I think the space in those mega rock stars, like that massive suite we're in, like that deck space, is phenomenal. Like if you're in the Caribbean and you're doing a group with a bunch of people and one person gets that suite, that whole hangout area is phenomenal. Decor, it was a little underwhelming. Like it wasn't that sleek. I think modern design that we're that we're very much used to. And for me, it kind of felt like you had this massive suite, which almost felt like a grand suite, a 2-bedroom grand suite with a big balcony, and then a bunch of junior suites is how I felt the other ones were.
I would agree with
To
that.
to give a comparison. And then of course with those suites you get access to Richard's rooftop, which is a very beautiful venue.
Absolutely loved the outdoor suites only area. I think it actually rivals the retreat.
okay.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun if you're with a group and you all have suites. You're going to have a lot of fun. It's all round beds and day beds and hot tubs and a really nice big bar, and they'll have rock star agents there who will able to get you food. So I think it's going to be a really, really great experience.
For those who want to travel with us on Virgin Voyages and the Scarlet Lady, we're all going in February 2022. Hunt mentioned it in here. It was the Super Bowl cruise, but the NFL so rudely moved the Super Bowl back 1 week. So we are calling it the Pro Bowl cruise or the pre-Super Bowl cruise. So if you want to join us, February 2022, we're doing a cruise on Virgin Voyages, Scarlet Lady. Hope you can join us. It's going to be just a blast. So unless you guys have parting thoughts on the Scarlet Lady, we have some other things to discuss.
Well, good. I do have a parting thought. First off, I want to say that you can't trust what I've seen a lot of the UK vloggers do, and I'm not dissing, but I think if you're going on board with that mindset of what a typical cruise is for you, you're kind of going to set yourself up to fail. This is truly a different cruise experience. So we saw the pool that like broke the internet. not too long ago. And I mean, is it on the smaller side? Yes. Do
But
I think
that's not the main pool. That's just like the pool by the gym.
no, I'm talking about the main pool.
Mhm.
Everybody lost their mind on the circular pool by the gym.
That is still bigger. Oh no, people lost their mind on both pools. Both pools.
Okay.
I mean, they're on the smaller side, but like this is an adult cruise. People aren't doing laps in these pools. Like this is to soak. I didn't think they were that big of a deal. I think that's one of the first things you and I said to each other too, Jarvis, was we're like, oh, like these are a
The
little bigger than I
press,
actually anticipated.
the press was so bad about the pool. That's the first place I went because I wanted to validate what they had said.
Right.
What I said was, this pool's not small. There's a lot of
Right.
area where you would just put your feet in. And I find myself doing that on most cruises too. I'm not getting in that dirty water with those kids and everything that who knows what's going on, but I'll put my feet on and hang out with drinks and talk, right? So
Oh, absolutely.
I think I think they're going to it's not going to be an issue. The pool size, although size matters, the pool size is not going to matter when it comes to the US.
I mean, this was just great overall, and I liked that each venue had its own theme drinks overall. I mean, like we had a slightly different menu because it was a press event. But just the drinks are themed from that popcorn drink to razzle dazzle. And my last parting thought is the staff. Oh my god! Like Abby, the hostess, spent like what, an hour and a half
Yeah.
with us. We got to shake the ab for champagne, and guys, that party scene. If you like to go dance and have some drinks,
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm going in November. I cannot wait to see it firsthand. You made me so jealous.
that party scene was just it took a couple days to recover, let's put it that way. And then after like let me put that out there, so we were supposed to end at 10. Like we got off the ship after midnight,
Right.
No,
and
I loved it.
then Rick's like, let's go to a bar, and I'm just like, Rick, I have to be up at 6 for a flight.
Right.
All right, so another reason that we brought good sir on is we have a question of the day to talk about. When is the best time to redeem airline miles?
That's a great question.
So there's a preface there, and I will let Ken fill in the blanks if I say anything wrong here. When you use airline miles to pay for a flight, a reward flight, you do not earn miles or dollars spent on that flight. So if you redeem miles to a flight to Europe and back, you are just getting it for free, or not for free, you're using your miles. You're not earning airline miles for status going back and forth. Is that correct, Ken?
That is 100% correct. And I know a lot of people here are chasing status because
Yep.
status, right? It matters on cruise lines, it matters on airlines. So it's a great question when to use your miles, and it's really a personal decision. What I usually do, I always check whenever I'm booking a flight, I always check to see how many miles or points are required for that same booking so that I can value my points in my mind. Just today, I was booking a flight for a cruise in December, and the fare for coach was $79 from JFK to Miami. For first class, it was $350. They wanted 15,000 points for coach, and they wanted 20,000 points for first class. So when you look at that, something's really off.
Correct.
So I chose to pay for that flight instead of using coach. Now, I'm also, I'm a business traveler, so I'm always need to be gaining points to keep my status. So that is something that I also factor in. If I was traveling with the family, I would have no problem breaking out a couple of thousand points for to use those miles for everyone to go. But I'm going to hold on to those miles in case I have a big desire coming up, like Europe or Asia. You can sometimes get some really, really good deals with those points. But again, it's a personal decision. If you have enough points for a trip and you're not going after status, by all means use them, but just be mindful of what the value of those points are. There's no way I'm going to spend 10,000 points for a $79 flight and then 20,000 points for 350,000 points. Those points, that just doesn't add up. It's better to use your cash in that points and hold on for the cash.
Correct. You know, and I mean, tell me if you agree here. I often have found using miles for domestic flights are usually not a great value. When I have used my miles, this was before I was chasing status.
Mhm.
I would tend to use them for like some long haul. Like I use miles to get to Hawaii. I know it's a domestic flight, but it's a very long flight.
Because you want those miles to go as long as possible. So I am 100% with you. I would hardly ever use miles for an hour and a half flight to Charlotte. But again, if I'm
Right.
going to Hawaii, because you can get a lot of times, like that's still a domestic flight. Most of the airlines consider that domestic. So would you spend 25,000 points to get to Miami or 25,000 points to get to Honolulu? Makes much more
Correct.
sense to use them for Honolulu.
So Haley, what about you? You have just hit a new status with Delta. Congratulations.
Thank
When do you use your Sky Miles versus just pay for it?
So I'm a hoarder. I'm a hoarder and I only use it kind of like Jarvis when it's long haul and I have the family with me, being able to get that discount on a couple tickets is nice to not have to pay for, say 3 round trip tickets to Europe. I think one of the recommendations I'd love to make is if you're looking to spend your points, go to your preferred airline of choice and search with the I'm flexible, because you can search by points and by dollar with that, and you can actually see cheaper dates for a certain itinerary based on what the spend is. So it might make more sense for you to fly out on Saturday versus Friday because it's half the amount of points. And like Jarvis said, there's only certain things that I will pay for. I've had to, slap my husband's phone out of his hands when he's like, "Oh, I could upgrade my seat for X amount of points in the app." I'm like, "Don't you dare use those. Like those are sneaky. Those are sneaky ways to get your miles back from you."
Yeah, no, the upgrade with miles is always really bad. Really bad.
And I think if you're somebody that also has like an American Express card and stuff like that, so you have the option to transfer to different airlines, you need to use that Award Hacker website that we talked about last week, because you could find that a partner airline, so like for Jarvis, American Airlines and British, it might be cheaper for you to get the British round trip ticket with Avios versus transferring them to American as well.
Significant deals through the partner airlines and also giving you access to fare categories that you couldn't afford, right? Like Qatar Airlines and their apartments and residency. You can find deals where that's only 90,000 points. You would pay $35,000 for that room on the plane. So huge deals. Bill's Flexible Suites in the comments has a great point where he says he uses miles for short notice trips and weekend getaways when the airline fares are usually the highest. So I think that's an excellent point.
Yeah, and I like your tip, Ken, about always checking what the miles are. But I don't really do that a lot of times if it's really cheap. But I should start checking it just to kind of keep the valuation of my miles bank account kind of in check. Like, what is the true value of these miles?
Absolutely. And you know what? Sometimes you get deals. I actually, a cruise before the pandemic from JFK to Miami, I got for 8,000 points because they were having a special web fare. And that was for upfront. It was
8,000 for upfront. Okay.
Yes, it was a steal. A steal.
I mean, 8,000 miles is basically free.
It's absolutely free.
I mean, it's so important, Jason. I mean, like originally when I was going to take my team somewhere in April, I looked at Costa Rica, and then Jason found us one heck of a deal in Mexico. But I flipped over that little slider to miles, and I temporarily booked a round trip flight from Rochester, which is not a hub, to Costa Rica. Round trip was 13,000 miles.
That's insane.
That's good.
That's
It was it was just insanity. But then sometimes I know Jason, you'll appreciate this. Is I'll be looking at a long haul, be like, oh, you know what, the fares are kind of low. Let me see what it is in points. Then it's like 30,000 points for main cabin, 50,000 points for Comfort Plus, 400,000 points for Delta One, and it's like,
I
oh,
you know I sometimes think, yeah, to talk about how like the prices don't match. The miles for like international Delta One are just, it's like they
astronomical.
literally just add a zero to it.
mhm.
And I think at least in the Delta world, they're almost trying to disincentivize you from using miles for international Delta One.
Right.
So that's a topic of conversation for another day. It's a longer pricing conversation. But great advice, guys. So in summary, check your miles versus the dollar amount. I like Bill said, save them for last minute trips or for long haul trips. Just because you've got 30,000 miles, don't just use it on a trip to Miami. Pay cash, keep earning it, build up something bigger. That's my advice.
Get one of those nice suites like Jarvis was talking about. Before I flip into our closeout questions, there is a question I think that is great that pertains to all three of us, and it's from Flexible here. Would you have experimented with so many other shipping brands if the pandemic never happened?
So, Ken, you're a returning champion. You go first.
Yeah,
Yes.
great question. And for me, the answer is yes, right? I had the honor of turning Pinnacle December 2019. And I always said once I hit that mark, I was going to branch out. And I'm so happy I did because, when you only do one thing, you think that thing is the greatest thing until you see how other people are doing it. So yeah, I used to think Royal Caribbean suites were great. They don't compare to Celebrity Suite Experience. I'm looking forward to see Wonder. I'm dying to see what Scarlet Lady a real cruise would be like. And I'll tell you what, NCL Prima has my attention too. And MSC World, Euro World class, whatever they're calling it, that ship looks amazing. So the pandemic has not changed me. Turning Pinnacle did. And now I'm definitely going to branch out.
Haley?
I would say it changed me a little bit. I mean, like I've dabbled into celebrity and really enjoyed that. For me, being on the travel industry side professionally, I paid a lot of attention to how brands handled things, and that was kind of important to me because that's kind of a crossover to the livelihood of the insanity that myself and my team have just gone through. So I think that played a part. And right now, there's just so many great offers. People are vying for your loyalty right now. And it is so great to take advantage, to try those new experiences at some of the rates that are out there right now. Um, so I think overall, no, like I would have tried Virgin anyways. I was excited to look at those, but I think that it did shift me a little bit though. Jason?
So so it didn't shift my desire to try different brands. So before the pandemic, I had some Royal, Celebrity, Virgin, and an MSC cruise booked. I mean, obviously they all got canceled. Post pandemic, I have Royal, Celebrity, and Virgin on the books. And the pandemic, though, from a travel advisor perspective, has made me reevaluate and prioritize or deprioritize some brands because of their handling during the pandemic or they're working with travel advisors. So there are now some brands that I'm just kind of like staying away from because of the pandemic. But I think all cruise lines have their advantages and disadvantages. Super excited about Wonder, super excited about the Odyssey Transatlantic next year. But like you guys, I'm excited about Virgin, and Celebrity, has been my favorite for some time. So the pandemic really didn't change it that much. It just kind of made me narrow my focus. And when people try to pressure me to do a sailing that I really don't want to do, I don't know why in the pandemic, call it clarity, I now just say I'm not gonna do it. So maybe I have more clarity now.
Well, I think a tie into that, and I think one of the biggest things that we realize, because we have a really great group of people here in the Today in Travel group that, crossovers, we started to build this community because we wanted something that wasn't just focused on one cruise line and one form of travel. Is I think it's very easy to associate brand loyalty when you're traveling with a bunch of people and having a great time. Like, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I've had fabulous Royal Caribbean cruises. Like, I'm 2 points shy of my Diamond Plus. Like, I've had some great times on board, but you have to make that realization. It's like, it wasn't necessarily the ship all the time. It's the people that you're traveling with. And to
Right.
bear that in mind, does that mean that I would never do Royal again? No, it's just I would have a great time with all of you on pretty much any ship that I was on.
So cruise and carnival is what you're saying, Haley?
Oh, come on.
Mardi
But I
Gras,
mean, if
I could try
on one of those new ships with you guys, absolutely. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, right. So, but I was being facetious, but being serious, right? I mean, I do think what makes cruising unique is it has a social aspect that I find lacking in I mean, don't get me wrong. Do I love just going to Europe, spending time in Europe? Absolutely. It's culturally enriching, great food, love the people, but it does kind of lack a little bit of that social aspect that you're speaking.
But yeah, I mean, like, I would have a good time in pretty much any location or situation with a bunch of you guys
Right.
that I traveled with. And I think that's something you just need to keep in mind. So,
Right.
going into our travel tip of the day, I actually just experimented with this, which is why I threw it in. There's websites like Top Cash Back, for example, is who I'm going to talk about. You can actually go to that website first. It's free to be a part of it. And then you can click on a travel brand. I just did this with Marriott. I clicked on their Marriott offer. It takes me directly to the Marriott site so I can log in with my Bonvoy and all that jazz. And I got 3% cash back on my Marriott stay just by clicking through their website to that. So a little extra travel savings, little fun
Love
deal.
it.
And now we've got a travel question of the day. And it is, are you allowed to fly with COVID home tests? To my understanding, yes, because when I went to France, somebody was telling me that I should have done that actually. I haven't seen anywhere. I did a research. Jason, I know you did.
Yeah, I did some research for this question, and I couldn't find anything that said you cannot travel with it. So I think the answer is yes. And if you're really concerned about it, check it. Just put it in your checked luggage.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that was a great show. Again, if you are new, please join our travel group, todayintravel.live, or you can just search Today in Travel on Facebook. Feel free to share when you're cruising, when you're traveling, ask questions. That is what this group is about. It's not about egos. It is people helping people and getting inspired to travel maybe different places and meet some friends along the way. Gentlemen, any final thoughts?
I'm just thankful we had our returning champion join us. I am thankful for both of you showing us Scarlet Lady last week. That just made me super excited. So thank you to both of you for bringing us quality content from Scarlet Lady.
Well, thank
All
you so
right,
much.
guys. We'll see you in the
Always
group.